Dear Black Horror Story, today we have a chilling story that will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's about a sister who has a haunting encounter with an otherworldly entity after the tragic loss of her brother. Was it really her deceased brother she contacted? Or was it a demon pretending to be him? Stay tuned until the end to find out. It's a sad story today, so if you need any help after this story, please contact us. My name is Martha. I am the youngest of 3 children. My sister is 11 years older than me, and my brother 10 years older. When I was little, I had a very close bond with my brother. But when he got married, he moved away, and I only became closer to him. He was my buddy. He affectionately called me Mom, and I called him Budo. If I was afraid of the boogeyman, he would sleep next to me so I wouldn't be scared. He was my big protector. If he was around, I had nothing to fear. He sang Elvis Presley songs to me almost every night. Our go-to lullaby was I Can't Stop Loving You by Elvis, his favorite song. He was, without a doubt, my favorite person in the whole world. My big brother, Anthony. Everyone who met him loved him. He was tall, fair-skinned, with dark brown hair and light golden brown eyes. He was handsome, but also had a good heart. He had a great sense of humor and was a big joker. Whenever I was sad, he would make the funniest faces to cheer me up. In the 90s, our parents owned a video rental store. He and I watched all the comedies and cartoons together. After my sister got married and moved away, the store became our domain. We never missed Monday Night Raw wrestling matches. Over the years, our favorite wrestlers changed, but my brother's all-time favorite was CM Punk, and mine was The Rock. We would always trash talk each other's favorites during the matches. It drove me crazy when he kept insisting his favorite was the best. But we had a lot of fun, I assure you. As we grew older, our contact lessened a bit. Not because we loved each other less or had arguments, but because he had his own family to care for, and so did I. Family demand a lot of time, and we focused on that. We lived close to each other, but we hardly saw each other because of our busy lives. We called each other now and then for silly things, like when a new movie came out, or a new song was released, or to ask, "Did you see the match last night?" My brother worked as a fisherman for many years, so his family and I were used to him being away for days at a time. Sometimes he was away for weeks. That's the life when you grow up in Guyana. Many people live off fishing. It was February 25th, 2015, 3 days before my son's 4th birthday. My brother called me. He didn't sound well. He had the flu. He told me he was going on one last fishing trip and that he would be fine. He assured me not to worry because he was strong and would recover quickly. He couldn't afford to stay home because he had a family to feed. He had 4 kids and a wife to care for, so every cent was essential. I begged him not to go because I could tell from his voice and tone that he was not in good shape. But he wouldn't listen and tried to lighten the mood with a joke. He said, "Keep a cold beer ready for me when I get back from the sea because I can't make it to my nephew's birthday, but I'll make up for it when I return. Time will fly, and I'll come by with lots of birthday presents." If I had known that those 45 seconds would be the last time I heard his voice, I would never have hung up the phone. It's a shame I couldn't see the future or turn back time. The next night, on the 26th, I received a call. The boat he was on returned to shore, but my brother was not on it. My brother and another crew member, who was also a good friend of ours, had fallen overboard. Apparently, the boat had encountered very bad weather, and the men fell into the water. Due to the rough weather, the other fishermen couldn't find them in the turbulent water with high waves. They did their best to circle back and search for them, but they were nowhere to be found. The weather worsened, and they had to return home. For 3 days, the Coast Guard and police searched for the bodies, but they couldn't find them. I can tell you with certainty that the police in Suriname are completely incompetent. They are very lax and indifferent. I witnessed how little effort they put into it. They have no idea how much pain and sorrow they caused the family with their actions. Maybe if it had been their family lost at sea, they would have reacted differently and understood the pain of the bereaved. The police simply refused to cooperate and gave up without trying. After much hassle, the police finally decided to search, but I don't think they even tried. And after a short search, they returned home. My own family had to do their utmost to search for the bodies at sea, and on the 5th day, they succeeded. My own cousins and uncles had to do it. Yet, the media falsely reported that the police found the bodies, which is false. It was the biggest lie ever. If they had really searched thoroughly, they would have passed the bodies 50 times, considering where they were found. Thanks to the family's efforts, his body was recovered. When my brother was found, he was in such bad shape that he was barely recognizable. The body looked so terrible that you couldn't even see it was him. The only way to identify him was by his tattoos with our parents' names and those of his children. It was very painful for me to hear this. I went with our family to the morgue, but I didn't go inside to see him because I didn't want to see my brother like that. I wanted the last image I had of him to remain untainted. I wanted to remember him as the kind, loving, good-hearted brother I knew. The last memory of him should not be of a swollen, decayed body. The day of the funeral went as planned. Despite my grief, it was not apparent. I was confused and didn't know how to express or handle my emotions. It was an incredibly difficult, heavy, and emotional time for me. This was also the first time I had lost someone so close, so everything was new, and I didn't know how to cope. I couldn't process it well, and it slowly began to sink in that he was really gone. I didn't attend the funeral and didn't say goodbye. Days passed, weeks passed, months passed. Everyone moved on with their lives. On the morning of my 27th birthday, August 28th, 2015, I woke up around 5 a.m. to cook. I usually woke up early, and this time was no different. But as I stood in the kitchen, I remembered, oh yeah, it's my birthday today, so I don't need to cook. I'll just buy something to eat at work. No need to stress myself today. So I went back to bed. I slowly drifted off, but I wasn't asleep, nor was I awake. It felt like I was between two worlds. I'm certain I wasn't dreaming. I don't know how to explain it precisely, but I wasn't asleep. It wasn't a dream, but rather like I was in another dimension. Suddenly, I was in my childhood home where I grew up. I was lying in a hammock with a large photo album, looking at our photos. The photos brought back old memories of my brother and me. This made me cry, and I felt the warm tears sliding down my cheeks. It felt so real. I heard the birds chirping and could even smell the various flowers from my mother's garden. Suddenly, I felt someone playfully tug at my hair. I was startled and turned around immediately. It was Anthony, my Budo. How could this be? I was too shocked to speak. My brother looked different. He appeared bright, as if he radiated light, cleaner, as if he was glowing. Sort of. I can't explain it, but he seemed like an angel appearing before me. His presence was warm and reassuring. His hair was golden brown, and he had a cheerful smile on his face. "You're crying again like a big baby. Don't cry, Mom." "Okay, I don't understand. Even when you cry, you still look better than I do. You always win, huh?" "I never come out as the winner," he joked, holding my hand. I asked him, "Are you safe there, Budo? Are you okay?" He replied, "Yes, I'm completely safe." I asked, "How is it where you are?" He said, "Life goes on. Life doesn't end after earthly life. Here, there's more that you'll experience someday. Everything is calm, safe, there are no diseases, and it's joyful. Please don't worry about me. Believe me, everything is fine with me." I asked him, "Can I come with you?" He laughed and said, "No, Mom, your time hasn't come yet. You have a whole life ahead of you. You're stronger than you think. I just came to say goodbye." "You didn't get to say goodbye, so I came here, especially for you." I asked him sadly, "Will I see you again?" He nodded and said, "Of course, in your memories, and sometimes in your dreams. This is how I say goodbye to everyone. I save the best for last. You're my favorite person, so I couldn't leave without saying goodbye." I pleaded, "Please stay a little longer. Why do you have to leave now?" He laughed, squeezed my hand, and said, "I must go, Mom, but I'll always be here. I must leave, but you'll feel me around you." I started to cry harder and replied, "Okay, I know, but please don't forget about me." He shook his head and said, "Never. I'll wait for you on the other side. For now, live your life fully. Enjoy it and be happy. Time will pass quickly. We will meet again soon. I love you so much, always and forever, no matter what." Then he turned around and walked away. I cried and shouted his name. "Budo, please don't leave. Stay. Anthony, please don't leave me." I tried to run after him, but my feet felt like lead. He slowly faded away and disappeared. Suddenly, a cold breeze swept through the room, and the photo album fell from my hands. The pictures scattered across the floor, and I heard a distant echo of Anthony's laughter. I felt a warmth in my heart, and even though I was crying, I felt at peace. He was gone, but would never be forgotten. I awoke abruptly, sweating and crying. I was in bed, disoriented. The room was quiet, and I could only hear my own breathing. It was 5:45 a.m. I sat up and hugged myself tightly, knowing that what had happened was not a dream. It was real as life itself. I realized that my brother had come to say goodbye to me on my birthday, the last gift he could give me. I felt a strange sense of comfort. Although he was gone, he wasn't really gone. He would always be with me, watching over me from wherever he was. Anthony was right. Life goes on. From that moment, I decided to live my life fully, as he had told me. And in the quiet moments, when I close my eyes, I can still hear him say, "I love you so much, always and forever." Even now, I can feel his presence sometimes. When I feel alone, I remember his words, and I know he's still with me, guiding me, protecting me, loving me. And that thought gives me the strength to go on. To everyone watching this, thank you for being here and sharing in this journey with me. If this story touched you, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support means the world to me and helps keep the memory of Anthony alive. Let's cherish the moments we have with our loved ones and always remember that even in the darkest times, love never truly leaves us. Thank you, and take care